first thing that I am going to use is the concealer. And as you can tell, I have a lot to conceal. Concealer just evens out the skin tone so that you can actually pick the correct, if you ever have trouble picking your foundation shade, sometimes you actually need to put on a shade so that you can get one even tone. And the thing of it is, you may not be ready for that, because once you have put your concealer on and you have blended it out, I always put it on and then blend it with a brush, because the brush actually blends it but then puts it on and takes off any excess so that you don't have any extra issues with creasing or getting in those little lines. And put your concealer. You can see that once you put that on, you may feel a little pasty because you're used to seeing all those colors on your face. So when you put it on and it looks kind of white, don't panic. That's okay. Now you've got one even shade, so you can pick the color of foundation that you need. So now you can tell it's just evened out my skin tone. Now I'm going to take the under eye corrector and put that right up close underneath my eyes to take care of any dark circles. You can see the difference even when I just put it on, and keep that in there. Then I take a brush, and you'll see me using an extra mirror because I am totally blind. I know you're there, but I'm totally blind without my glasses on, and I do not wear contacts. But just get right up under there. You can almost do it by feel, and you just kind of pat it back and forth. Don't pull it, don't sweep back and forth, because that's not the way that it works. But you actually just pat it back and forth like that, and it just gives a nice look underneath your eyes so that you don't have that shadow, the darkness under the eyes. We also call this new mother's friend. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is put on my foundation. And I usually put my foundation on with this brush. I use the Luminous foundation. I know that you have many different foundation brushes you can use. Our new foundation brush is great, but I find that with Luminous, if I use the new foundation brush, it uses a little bit too much. So you can tell I put this on the back of my hand because there's no oil glands on the back of your hand. So it's not going to pick up any dirt or bacteria for your face. And then you just kind of put it on your face. I actually just do little circles. And I don't know if you can tell the difference between the two sides, but it's just kind of a dewy look, very healthy. Everything's blended. Once again, like I said, I like to use the brush because it puts it on very thin, takes off the excess so that you just have a real light veil on your face. It's not heavy, not cakey feeling. It just doesn't feel like you have anything on. So I'm going to do the other side. Just circle it around. And you can tell that now with the concealer and the foundation, this doesn't look like it did before. And it really does. The good news is that your foundation is part of your skincare, and your skincare is taking great care of your skin. So it'll actually make the little lines appear less. It'll make the aging not appear as harsh. And I actually like that dewy look to my face. Now, people with oily skin would not use the Luminous foundation. I use the Luminous. My skin is very dry. And you'll notice that after I've had this on for a few minutes, it will just look like I have nothing on. It does take a little time to set, not very long, but it does take a little time to set. So now we've got that. And then we start with the Glamour. So now I've got my foundation on. We're going to start with the Glamour. And the first thing that I'm going to do is some contouring. I have a very square face. And so I want to do a little contouring. And I'm going to take the Latte. And I'm going to use a mirror, an extra mirror here, so I can actually not put it in my ear. And you can kind of see where I put it. And the contouring, anything dark is going to go back, and anything light is going to go forward. So if I was to put a highlighter in this area, it would actually make my face look heavier. So contouring takes it back and makes it look thinner, and highlighting brings it forward. So just kind of keep that in mind. I like to take the contour and just go along the hairline, because that kind of blends the makeup, so you don't have to worry about having a makeup line, especially when my hair is pulled back. Some people have bangs, but my hair's pulled back. Now, especially because I have what I think is a large nose. And so if you take the contouring and you put it on the sides of your nose, it kind of thins the nose. Now, most of you who have seen me have no idea that I do all this, and it really doesn't take that long once you've learned how to do it. But you just have to give yourself a little grace when you're learning how to do it, so that it doesn't take much time. I can run upstairs and be done in 10 minutes. And then I don't have to worry about putting my makeup on for the rest of the day, because I know it's going to stay right where I put it. Now, the other thing that I like to do is use translucent powder. And the translucent powder, even though I know that there's no makeup line, never take your foundation lower than your jawline, because it just gets all over your clothes and everybody that you hug. Go to the jawline, and if we have the right color, you should have a nice match anyways. But just in case, and I call this a safety net, I take a little bit of that translucent powder and I just run it along the jawline, just like that. And I don't know if you can tell the difference between the two sides, but there's just nothing there. It sets the makeup so it doesn't come off all over everybody. It doesn't come off on your clothing or everybody you hug. It doesn't come off on your phone. And that translucent powder is colorless, so everybody can use the same shade. And I just do that so that it gives a lift to the face too. So it takes off a little weight if you're a little bit heavier. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do before I blend my contour is I'm going to put some blush on. And I actually like the, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a hot citrus color. And people are like, oh my gosh, that's so bright. It's only as bright as you put it on. So the correct way to do that is to start right here at the jaw hinge. You can feel that. And then smile. And you can kind of see where to put it. Sometimes it goes right over the top of the contour, and that's fine. But the thing of it is, don't look in the mirror like this and put your color on, because unless you look at people like this, it's not going to be in the right place. What I'm doing is I'm looking in this mirror straight on so that I can see what people see. And you can see the difference between the two sides, how I've just lost weight on that side. Now, if someone comes to you and says, oh my gosh, I love your blush, you probably have it on wrong, because it should not be something that is like so pertinent. Now, mine's not blended with translucent powder yet, but once again, it may look like I'm looking sideways into the mirror, but I'm not. I'm looking into this mirror over here and putting the color on. And I need that pop of color because I have medium colored hair, medium skin, so people who have darker hair maybe don't need that, but when you're all medium, you need a little pop of color to kind of change things up. So, okay, and there is that hot citrus that we thought was so bright. And it just kind of gives a nice finished look. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do my eyebrows, because I do my eyebrows first so that I know where to put the highlighter underneath the brow line. And we have brow pencil and we have brow tint. I personally use the brow tint. This is personally the best $14 you're ever going to spend. It comes in 4 colors. Let your consultant pick the color that's best for you. I use blonde because I have gray, silver, brown. I have a little bit of everything. Okay, so I'm going to put this on. Hopefully you can see. Take a little bit, and it's got just a tiny, tiny little wand. And what you want to do is get rid of the excess of the blonde on the brush, on the brow bottle, and then you just kind of fill in where your brows are. Don't go above or below it. And you can actually see that this is lightening my brows so that they're not quite as harsh. They match my hair color better. Now, brows don't always match our hair, and it doesn't really have anything to do with whether you color your hair or not, because I don't. So adding a little bit of brow tint or a little bit of brow pencil to your brows really will frame your eyes and do a lot to either soften or fill in. My brows, actually, if you saw them before I started, were all haywire and going crazy. I use the brow tint to kind of tame them down and set them all in one spot. So you can see how much softer that looks on one side than it does on the other. And like I said, if somebody comes up to you after you've used brow tint and they say something like, "Did you get your hair done? Or your haircut?" Or what? You just say yes. If they can't tell what it is, it's none of their business. So once again, I got a little more on this side. Get the excess off of that. And I'm going to put that as, some people, need to lighten theirs to match their hair color. Some need to darken or make it a little bit more. Mine, I think when it's as dark as mine is, it actually looks a little harsh. So, and once again, you can see our brows don't match. Mine is actually a little higher on one side, lower on the other. You know what? Our brows are not perfect, and no matter what we do, they're not going to be perfect. I can go a little higher on this side to try and match it, but you can see I have like an open area here and not so much over there. You can fill that in. You can actually try to match those up. I'm not too worried about it. I figure it's just me. So now that I have that on, that also doesn't just color the brows, it actually acts as a stay for it. It's like a hairspray for the eyebrows. So that works great. Now you can also, if you don't need to color your brows, you can use this. This is lash primer, and it not only works on your lashes for your mascara, but you can use this as a hairspray for your brows. Like I said, when I first get up in the morning, my brows are like all over everywhere, so I can use this and just kind of tame them down so I don't have to worry about it. So now I'm going to start using eye color, and I'm going to use all of the Chroma Fusion. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a light color, a light matte color, and I put that right up under the brow, right along the brow line, and you should be able to see exactly where I put it. And that's to give a highlight, and it does. Now, you'll see me match another highlight color into that. I use another highlight color on my entire lid. Oops, got my mirror in the way there. Once again, just doing the same thing on this side, but you can see how that highlights the brows and just makes them show up a little better. Now the next thing I'm going to do, once again, I'm going to take a matte color, and I'm going to put this all over my lid, from the lash line all the way to the brow, because I don't know if you noticed, but if you look on this side, there's like 3 to 4 different colors. And it's very difficult to make your eyeshadow appear the way you want it to, or have diverse colors on your eyes if you're competing with 3 or 4 different colors on your eye. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making this one even color on this eye, like a painter's matte, so that whatever I put over the top shows up better. And once again, just all over from the lash line all the way to the brow. Once again, this is a matte light color, just a neutral color. Okay. Now we're going to put on a couple of colors, and I'm going to test something today. I like this. When it comes to your frost, there's a difference between sparkly and frost. Okay? Now, some frost you can use, and once you've put this on, it doesn't have a tendency, your matte or your frost don't have a tendency to settle down into those little lines of your eyes anymore. So this is a trick. By putting a color on, now you can use a frost and it won't settle into those little lines on your eyes. But I'm going to take a frost color. And what I found out is that if you've ever put frost on and it just doesn't stay frosty, usually it's because we put it on and we blend. You'll see that I actually just patted that in that area. And when you pat it in that area, it actually looks frosty. It looks sparkly. So you can see the difference between the two sides where that really does look frosty. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. And I like to do the lighter colors on the inside because that kind of, once again, brings that forward. The dark will take it back. Okay. Yep, I like that. It does give you that little frosty look. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a color on the outside half and kind of bring it over into, let's see, what color? I'm going to take this moss. I think moss is really pretty. It's not matte. It's got a little color to it. It's like a mossy green, but when you put it on, it can look completely different. But you want to kind of tap it into that outside third. I don't know if you, yeah, you can see well where I'm putting it. And just kind of pat it into that area. Kind of bring it in there where you don't have anything. And of course, when you put the darker on the outside, it really makes that frost show up and pop. Okay? So maybe you didn't see it before, but now you can see it a little bit more. Once again, leaving the highlighter up here, but the dark on the outside just kind of gives a nice illusion there. All right? And then just blend it so that you don't see where it starts or stops. And you can see the difference between the two eyes. Kind of gives a lift to the outside of the eye, a little bit of a glamour look without looking like somebody punched you in the face. And once again, this does have a little frost in it, so you'll notice I'm patting. Well, that wasn't very nice, wasn't it? I just burped. And then of course you want to just kind of blend so that you can't see where it starts or stops on the inside or the outside. Now the other thing that I want you to do is we get right in the mirror and we look at every little pore on our face. First of all, how many people are that close to your face? And if they are, do you care what they think of your pores? Sit back at arm's length and look at the difference between the two. If you can't see the difference, neither can anyone else. Stop being so picky about how you put it on. That's not the point. And especially me, I wear glasses. So you'll notice that I put it on a little bit heavier because if you wear glasses, you'll notice that you put your makeup on just perfectly. And then when you put glasses on, it's like it erases everything. So you have to put a little more. And this application is great for those who wear glasses. Okay. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, got to get a little more green down here on this one right here so that they, there. All right. And now we're going to use liner. And I love to use liquid liner. I know when I was younger, I got liquid liner. I put it on. It was all over my face. I washed it off and said, I swear to God, I'll never put liner on again. The correct way to put liner on, and this is a liquid felt tip pen type of a liner, is you take your mirror, you look down into it like this, and you'll notice that that stretches out the eyelid, because if you pull and you put it on, then you let it go, it just kind of all bunches up. But if you stretch down like that and you look into the mirror, there's a little valley where the lashes meet the eyelid, and you can lay that right on the lash line and just drag it across the lash line. You can almost do this without looking into a mirror, because you just put it on the lash line, drag it across, and you get this perfect thin line. The whole reason that you put liner on is not to get it real thick. It's to get it as thin as you can so that when you put your mascara on, nobody else can see it. And you get a nice thin line, but it makes the eyes appear wider. Some people put their liner on so that they have cat eyes, they have all that. It's supposed to make your eyes appear wider. Hopefully now you can see that that eye looks wider without any mascara or any other pencil on. Be really careful about putting it on really, really heavy. If you're going to put it on heavy, start thin at the middle and go heavy on the outside. But that's how you put your liner on. Just stretch that out, lay it down there, and you don't have that mistake of putting too much on or putting it in the right place. You'll notice it's hard for me to talk because I balance on my chin. but I wear liner all the time because, once again, like I said, I have that medium hair, medium skin tone. So if I don't do certain things, it just doesn't look like I am alive. And when I forget to put my liner on, people will look at me and go, "Do you feel okay today?" And I'm like, "Oh, I either forgot my liner, my mascara, or both." Okay. Now I'd like to teach you a trick with your mascara when you're putting your makeup on. Always take your mascara and put it right down here in your brow, because several things are going to happen. Number one, it's going to warm it up so that it'll be more accessible when you put it on. Number two, it's right there. And number three, if you forget your mascara and you're in the car on the way there, guess what? There's your mascara. You can pull it out and put it on right before you get there. So it's kind of a cute little trick. Yay, team. Okay, next thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and put a little bit of pencil underneath my eyes. Now that's if I have a pencil here. Now this is the waterproof eyeliner that I just put on. You'll know the difference. Our new felt tip pen is all waterproof. The one that we had previously with the silver cap on it is not waterproof. So if you cry, you sweat, you tear, you swim, this is going to stay on. Yay, Mary Kay. Okay, I do not see, here, I got one right here. Because I think it's really important that people know how to put liner on, because I'm really tired of watching a lot of people that are absolutely gorgeous with this pencil liner underneath all the way across under their eyes. First of all, when you do that, it closes up the eye space, which is exactly the opposite of what we want to do. It also draws all the attention right to that liner, along the underneath. It's not what it's supposed to do. It closes up the eye space instead of opening up and making it brighter. So the correct way to use a pencil is you take your pencil, and I'm going to look into the mirror here. You get right in the lash line, and you do this right on the outside third. And you can see the lift, and you get so much more eye space when you do that. The farther across you go, the more it closes up your eye space, and it looks very harsh. If you're more mature, it's very harsh, and you need to stop doing that. Just that outside third is what you want to use. Can you see the difference on how that really changes and just gives a lift to the face? I don't know about you, but I need a lift on this face. Once again, right in the lash line, outside third only. And you can take a brush afterwards and just kind of blend it so that it's not real heavy. You can use a Q-tip if you want, but a Q-tip has a tendency to take it off. And just kind of blend it so that it's not real strong there either, because you want to lift, but you don't want it to go, oh my gosh. Now if you, like me, because I have dry skin, so I use a moisturizing foundation, I can put this on and by noon it's down here. So what you want to do is, we have an eye primer, and I'll take a little bit of the eye primer, and I'll take it after I put my eye defining pencil on. I'll take a little bit of the eye primer, and I'll just pat it over the top, and it just waterproofs it right in place so that it's not going to come off until I take it off at night. So just take a little bit, and you can do that underneath your Chroma Fusion eyeshadow if you want to, if you have trouble. But I'm really liking the way that really looks sparkly, but not too crazy. All right. Next thing we're going to do is the mascara, because the mascara is that finishing touch. And guess what? I was looking on the table for it, but voila, there it is, all nice and toasty warm. Now, I love the Ultimate Mascara, but I love the Lash Love brush. So I have Lash Love brushes. If you like the Ultimate, and I feel that stays on better, but you like the Lash Love brush, let me know and I'll give you a Lash Love brush so that you can put it on too. I like it because it's really thin and it separates all of your lashes. The Ultimate, I think, stays on better. We have one that stays on even better than the Ultimate. That's the waterproof, but the waterproof mascara is waterproof, and it will seal your lashes right at the pore. And if you don't take it off effectively with an eye makeup remover that gets it off, it will seal the pores, and then all of a sudden your lashes can't breathe and they start falling out. If you've ever had that happen, That's why. So if you're going to use waterproof mascara, make sure you take it off effectively or you're going to be in trouble. Now the correct way to put mascara on is open your eye, go clear to the back, close your lash, close your eye, and then just go back and forth as you come out. And what that does is it rolls the lashes so that you're actually putting it on the upper and the lower at the same time. But by going clear to the back, you're going to touch that eyeliner so that nobody's going to see that you even have any liner on. It just looks like it's part of your mascara. Oh, that's so much nicer when it's warmed up because it goes on so well. Now, for a glamour look, you want to make sure that you do this outer one right here because that gives that glam look. Okay, look, can you see the difference? She's alive. Okay, then you do the other one. Now, I'm a more mature woman, so I don't like to put any excess on my lower lashes except for what happens right here when I'm doing the outer. Because I think the more mature we are when we do the lower lashes, it just gives too harsh of a look. And especially with the glasses, I really want to make sure that I've got my mascara on, or boy, do I look bad. And you can actually see how when I put that on, it just ties right in with the liner so that I don't have to worry about that. Oh, my kitty. You hear my kitty entertaining us. Yes, you do. And once again, you want to make sure that you do that outer. Okay, and get that glamour look. And that gives a great glamour look. Now, I did a little number here with my mascara, so I'm going to have to clean that up. But it's easy to clean up when you've got that taken care of. And I want to open those up. Okay, so my eyes are done. You can tell, maybe, I look a little bit different than I did before. Now we're going to do the lips. And one of the tricks that I learned about lips is how to keep it on longer. And the first thing that you want to do if you want to keep it on longer is lip liner, because lip liner is wax-based. Wax-based stays on a lot longer. This formula of wax-based, because a lot of your lipsticks are wax-based, but they're moisturizing, and if you use a moisturizing lipstick or a lip gloss, it will come off a lot faster. Our new semi-gel and matte stay on so much longer. And I know a lot of people are afraid to try the matte lipstick because the matte lipstick, they think it's going to dry out their lips. Oh no, 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 no. It does not dry out your lips. It's very cushiony, it stays on, and it's very moisturizing. So the first thing you want to do, there's a little cap on the end of your lip liner, and there's a little cap on the end of that. And that is not a sharpener, but it is a point. It actually repoints your lip liner so that when it rounds off, you get a nice little point back again, okay? Since I can't see there, the correct way to put your liner is right on the lip line. Don't go above or below the lip line. Just stay right on the lip line. Don't try to draw one long line. Just take a bunch of little feather strips. There's not a wrong or a right way to do this. I always start with the Cupid's bow. Okay? And see, I don't mind that it takes a little bit longer to get my liner on because that's what keeps everything on. Now you can see that I have a cut there from an accident years ago. So sometimes I have to dust that up a little bit, but like I said, it's the perfect part of being imperfect. We all have our imperfections. It's okay. Now, once you get your lip liner on, color in. Color in. Just like this. This is the secret. Because when you put this on and you color in and then you put your lipstick over the top, if your lipstick starts to disappear because you've had a Coke or you've smoked or you've had a cup of coffee, the lip liner stays on and gives the illusion that you still have color on. I don't know about you, but when I don't have any lipstick on, I look dead. Lipstick and mascara are the two things that I try to get on before I go out. I'm going to take one of these semi-gel mats, and this is a pinky color, and just put it right over the top. My cat just gave her approval. And it feels so good. And look how different that looks. It's not that dark color. It gives